Morning. Today is a very brief training. Today is 8th of May. I know everyone is busy, but somehow I think it's important to share the knowledge of Power BI and pivot tables. As more of you, I don't think have touched on Power BI, and majority of you have not touched on pivot table, right? So I think this why we need to learn this, because we are accountants, we are audit firms, okay? Most of the time we deal with figures. So now it's very popular on data extractions, data manipulations, data presentations, and pivot table during my time is very common one, okay? And somehow as time goes by, Power BI comes in. So today we are grateful that Bryan going to share his knowledge on Power BI, okay? For your information, we sponsors our colleagues, okay? On personal growth or personal hobbies, okay? It can be anything, okay? As you know, Bryan is typical accountant, so he chose boring topic like Power BI, right? Okay. Okay. So without due delay, I'm gonna pass the mic to him, and then he will share, because this is basic, of course. Hopefully, in coming months and coming days, we will try to have an advanced level thing like that, so that like HR, every time I need an info like job street, what's the KPI? How many people send in resumes, things like that? How many people come for interview? What's the success rate? It takes time for her to do the data report. With a data source, I hope this can be done in adventure. The gemuk itu panggil apa itu gemuk itu? Adventure movie. The gemuk, like this one, then the whole half of the population gone one.
Thanos.
Thanos. I call him the gemuk. Thanos are like this really. Like account departments, we have reports which she extract the data from the financial accounts, right? Auto count. It takes time, right? Take 1 day or 2 days or even 3 days, 4 days. If you know how to extract your data source, I think pivot table may help you, or even Power BI. Right? Like our managers, he tried to extract data on the book-in status. Okay, it will also take time, right? Which hopefully, because you have a data source. Later I will talk about data source. It's matter is how you extract the data. How you extract the data, and then with Power BI you can do macam itu gemuk. Okay? Understand or not? Okay? Thanks. Come.
Okay, so I think I will start to have a short sharing to what's Power BI to all of you lah. So I think based on yesterday Mr. Ko asked, I think not many of you know what's Power BI, right?
They only know Power Ranger. Power Ranger? Who knows? They got Power Ranger. Everyone know Power Ranger. How many Power Ranger in Power Ranger? 5. Oh, you know.
Okay, so let me start by let me go through today's agenda first. So actually today, since it is just a short briefing, a brief introduction, so I will only cover like 6 important aspects. So first I will start with to explain what is Power BI, why is there a need to use Power BI, and when you should use Power BI. And then I will talk about what are some of the users that will need to use Power BI, and what are the common scenarios that Power BI can be applied. And most importantly, lastly, I will briefly explain like the workflow, that how Power BI goes from the start until the end. Just simple illustration. Okay, so I think first and foremost, I will start by explaining what is Power BI. So I think many of you have used Excel before, right? You have used Excel to deal with data. You have used Excel to do some graph, bar chart, pie chart, anything, donut chart, many things. So Power BI, in simple words, is called a business intelligence data analytics tools, which means it's just a tool specifically used for business intelligence purpose, which means for business analysts. You always use Power BI when you want to help a business to analyze the data and gain some insights from the data, which could eventually help the company to make a better decision for better profit or for better well-being. So what is special about Power BI? Why we need to use Power BI? Because Power BI enable to connect the data from different sources. So the sources is just like what Mr. Koh mentioned just now. In nowadays, this data explosive era, we have many types of data. The data can come from Excel, it can come from your database, it could come from your online website, it could come from many other things, CSV file, many things. So this Power BI enable you, a person.
Don't tell them the CBS file. What is the CBS file? I heard about CBS is like US TV station, right? It's not CBS, right?
CSV.
CSV, yeah, I understand. Comma, delimited file, okay?
Yeah. So Power BI could enable all types source of data to be gathered into one platform, which later on you can use to analyze it. Okay. So at the end, what the most important thing Power BI do is it help the users to visualize all the data into report and a thing we call dashboard, which I will explain further later on. Okay. So this is basically what Power BI means: a tool that helps to analyze the data and to visualize it in a much more comprehensive way. Okay. Any questions up to now? Okay, never mind. I think I should move on. So second, we talk about why we need to use Power BI. Why we cannot just use Excel? Excel's good, right? Easy to use. Double click and then just can use. Why we need to use Power BI? Because there's something that Power BI can do, but Excel cannot do. So the most important thing is the scalability. I'm not sure that any of you know that because Excel actually there's a limit. Even though we didn't use so much row, but if you have knowledge on Excel, you know that there's a limit on Excel. If you have more than 1 million rows, the Excel will not able to process anymore because it have a limit. But for Power BI, there's no upper limit. No one knows how's the limit was it. That's why if you have 1 million, 10 million, or even 100 million rows of data, it can be all pumped inside and do the analyze. That's the thing scalability means. So it could for many data. Second is for the real time. I think nowadays real time is very important, which means they respond or update the data immediately. So by using Power BI, imagine that if you connect the Power BI to your database, so once every day if you key in anything, you key in an accounting entry or update any sales data in your database, the record will directly reflect into the Power BI here, which means you do not need to make any other action or what. As long as you update the database, the report here, all the things, it will reflect automatically in real time. So I think this thing, quite of the big, huge company are all using these things right now because it helps them to make a more timely decision because it could capture the real-time data. And third is because Power BI have advanced data visualization tools. And this is also what makes Power BI different with Excel. If you use Excel, I'm not sure you guys have explored the Excel tools or not. When you use the insert bar chart, all those things, actually the selection you can do is not much. But for Power BI, there are many more visualization tools, like the map, like all those view through. There are many items inside here. Also, besides the official tools, there's also a community where all the smart people, they will come up with their own visualization tools that you can go and download and use it. That's why there are many types of visualization that you can use. Okay? And the fourth, I think also what makes this different with Excel is that it helps to unlock some of the hidden insights within data. So I think in today's world, if you imagine that you have a big company, you have different types of data. You have human resource, you have sales, you have marketing, you have payroll, you have many data. So all this data, even though they're from different departments, but sometimes they might have some link between it. They might have some insight or relation between it. But if you just use normal Excel, it can't help you to find what is the relationship. But if you're using Power BI, because it has the function of what we call relational database, that you could use this, maybe it could help you to gain some special insights that previously you cannot see which could help you to make a better decision, of course. So until now, anyone have any questions? I think so far should be okay lah, right? On the brief understanding of Power BI. Okay, I think we move on. So when should we use Power BI? So actually, you know the reason why, then you know when should we use it lah. Of course, when you are dealing with large volume of data. Of course, if you are only dealing with like 100 rows of data, so maybe Excel will do. But if you want to deal with more than millions of data, then of course Power BI will be a better choice. Second, to gain insights, of course, depends on which area you are in. Whether you are a financial role, you are a HR, or you are anything, it could help you to gain some important insights, the information. And third, of course, is to track KPIs. Like the most frequent things that Power BI have to do is to track the KPIs and the performance of a company in real time. That's why every day you can see there's a dashboard keep on reflecting. It will show how many sales we have today, have we hit the target, all in real time. And fourth, the same, to help you to explore if you want to use more different tools. Besides the Excel, all those bar chart, all those things, you can have much more different. So if you are a person that you like creativity, you like to have much more artistic sense, then it could be useful to you. Okay? So I think we have talked about what and why and when to use the Power BI. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we move on. So next I think we'll talk about the users. Okay, so who are the users of Power BI, right? So we talk about all these things. So who the hell need to use Power BI, right? So actually, in simple words, it can be like categorized to 3 types of person. One is analyst. So this analyst normally means like a researcher or those that doing marketing analysis. So for this type of people, they will do a much more detailed analysis. Because when we are doing Power BI, actually the one thing that we need to understand or we need to figure out is what kind of analysis or how deep the analysis we need to do. Actually, Power BI, you can do a simple analysis, also can. You want to do a very deep analysis, it also able. So which level of analysis you want to do, it all depends on which end users are consuming the data. Right? So if the end user is an analyst, then you need to use a more details, more advanced formula, the queries, all the things to use it. But if at the manager's level, like a managerial role, a CFO, CEO like that, so maybe you would not need to use a tool, advanced techniques, just help you to check the KPIs or some of the targets we do. If you are the executive, like maybe most of us, so maybe a normal role of the tools we do. Alright, so basically we can separate into these 3 categories lah. Alright, so let me ask you a question. I keep talking that this Power BI. Do you guys think that you could be a potential user of Power BI?
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Or let me ask in another way. Do you think that maybe you can use this thing in your daily life?
Yes.
Like beside all these things, beside using in your work, let me ask it like this way. Beside using in your work, in daily life, do you think that Power BI can help you?
It's very simple. It's very simple. Like if I ask, say Angela, give me this report. She says, I will take about 3 to 5 days. So happen if I get an intern who know Power BI, okay, he can do it, but I do gemuk. You think I will go after Angela or I go after the intern? Understand not? Because the HR, traditional HR, take 3 to 5 days. The gemuk, use the gemuk technique. Understand not? Because once you set up the parameter, the setting, all these things is like, right?
Yes.
That's why data manipulation and data presentation is so called the in things now. Please, as a future accountant, please know this lah. You don't know this. You say in your application form, I only know Excel. 下碰碰到 Excel 啦。Even my kids also know Excel. My neighbor kids, 6 years old, also know Excel. Okay?
Okay, I think let's move on. So next I will talking some of the common scenarios where we will use Power BI. So first, of course, is for sales analysis. I think this is the most common one for a company to use Power BI to analyze their sales. So the sales analysis here actually it can be for different aspects. It could be your regional analysis. It could be analysis of your sales agent performance. It could be your product sales analysis, different types. So all these things can be done by using Power BI in real time, update the data. Okay. Second, could be HR, like what Mr. Koh mentioned just now. So if you are using Power BI, it could help you to like track all the data, employees retention, their satisfaction, or maybe the recruitment metrics or all those things. Alright. So third, financial reporting. Actually, it's quite similar to sales, where it could help to track your profit margin, your target, your goals, or maybe your budget, your forecast, all the things. And last thing is, what most benefit to me, actually it could be used in your personal finance as well. Let me do a short interview. So anyone here record your daily spending or monthly spending? How many of you have do your daily or monthly spending? So you record your spending in which way? You record using your apps or apps? I think mostly using apps, right? So actually if you use apps, you will notice that actually the apps now, if you subscribe for premium, they can have an export to Excel function one. So actually, if you can use this Power BI to control or to monitor your personal finance as well. You can do a net worth analysis, you can do your investment portfolio management, you can do your budget and expenses tracking as well. So actually, what I notice now is, besides that using in all the company, actually most of the people, like the rich people, they might also use this in their daily life, help them to track their personal finance. So I think this is something that maybe we should also try out besides all these things. Yeah. So I think now we have talked about the simple definition of Power BI. So I think now I move you on to explain some of the simple workflow. I think I now need everyone to open your handphone, to open the notes. Does everyone have the notes? Yes, right? Have the notes? Yeah. Try to open it. And you move to slide number 8. Yeah, I will have just a simple illustration right? We won't show how to hands-on on it because it takes quite some time. Okay.
Page 8 now, or page 8
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, start from the topic Power BI workflow. Alright, so if you, in simple words, so I'm ready first. Is everyone ready? Yes, okay, right?
I think before you go to the Power, I think it's too technical. Let me go to the kindergarten one, pivot table. Okay, is it okay? Because Power BI is, okay? So,
okay.
So Power BI, I think is, during my time, is pivot tables or thing like that. Of course, we use SQL language, data, thing like that. I think lately they only come out Power BI. I'm not sure when they come out. Power BI is created by Hyman. Power BI is created by AI. Power BI is created by Microsoft. Understand not? So today, before we proceed, I'm going to talk about data. Okay? You refresh what you learned in university. It can be your local university, it can be your ACCA. I believe 30 years ago, I did study one paper called MIS. Okay? Still have MIS? Still have. Oh, still have. And then in the MIS paper, they talk about what is database. Right? Remember? What is database? What is database? Basically, database is a field. It's like very simple for illustrations. Date,
name,
invoice numbers. We talk about financial one. Okay. Amount. Cost we can put in categories. I think in AutoCount, thing like that, we can put in departmentalized or we put in categories. Okay. 1st of January. 1st of February, 4th of Simple, right? Invoice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 amount 100, 150, 120, 250, 300, 500. Okay, category maybe audit. Familiar, right? Secretary, tax, secretary, account. Right? This is database. I think it's for illustration, simple illustrations. It can go until, let's say for financial data, for the whole year, it can be the whole until many. What's the character of the database? One field, one data. Number. You must have this. Of course, you must have this date, invoice date, thing like that. So for accounting, I think you can extract from AutoCount. How to extract? Microsoft Excel, they have data source. I'll show you later, okay? Like for sometimes like job non-accounting wise, a bit different, okay? Then you have to be specific. With some column may be missing, right? Some column may be missing. You cannot think that all in real life your database is so simple one. Yeah. You can run thousands or even millions. How to check? You cannot check by one, right? So normally refresh your memory lah. Excel there's a what if family, if column, all these things. Have you heard about if command, all these things?
If else, yeah.
If something like that. I'm not going to cover this thing like that. It can be done one. Or even you can sort out the data, you sort out this, then they come out a blank one, you insert thing like that. There's many ways to do it. It's not today's syllabus, okay? We do time constraints, okay? First, you must have the data. Then you're going to how to extract. I think he will cover the SQL method. There's a Power Query method. Okay, everything is inside. Not I must say one ChatGPT. It's inside Microsoft Excel. Understand or not? The only thing is somehow some database is incomplete because of missing data.
Yes.
Then you have to settle it. Or it can be like this one. The date one you didn't specify the format properly. Because sometimes they follow US time. Because first it can be January.
Yes.
Then you must be very careful. Understand or not? Or it can be sometimes the CSV,
The file.
you need to export to CSV file, so you have to be very clear on this. I'm not an IT person. I'm a very typical accountant. This is what I know. Let me share with you. Okay? Understand or not? So, how to do? Sorry, I didn't prepare a slide because I'm too busy. How? I share with you. Okay, we're gonna do it. I share with you. In Microsoft Excel. I think every day we touch on Microsoft Excel, right? Yeah, Excel. Yes. You know where is? There's a column which I don't think many of us used before. Very seldom one. And this is the germ. This is the germ of Microsoft Excel. Data. Okay? You go to data, you cannot find. You go to us. Pivot table. They will show you already. Understand or not? It's very simple. I'm going to show you is like I forward you the data. I forward you. You hold on. TikTok Hah? Nanti belum. I will share with you all tax and audit. Okay, you're going to open. Yeah, sign ready. Yeah. So you open the data. You see the database? You don't click play first. Don't click play. You see the database?
Yes.
You see the database? Okay, click play. Okay, just now I show you very simple ma. Date, invoice number, amount, category. Right, remember? Let's say I want very simple one. I want this quarter amount. It can be done in pivot table. Let's say for the whole year I want audit. It can be done like this. Let's say I want amount above 300. It can be done like this. Understand or not? Or say I want to set a date this month only, compare with last year. Like this. Understand? So it's just very simple. Type this. Okay? Because I also cannot find. I don't know where it is. Huh? I don't know. I'm searching. Then normally it will say that
Select the data.
select the data. They will select the data. You need to select the data because this become a data source already. You only need to know what is that. Go back. You go afterwards. Okay, you only need to know amount.
Value.
You're going to have row, value, filters, column. Okay, sorry, I didn't prepare the slide thing like that. The row, you just plug the row, or you can select the row, you pull the row, you put this into a pivot table to row. So it can be in the row already. The data will be shown date. Understand not? It can be shown the whole, or you can then you show the amount. Normally I would say simple date. Our this row. Okay, this is pivot table. Okay, then amount, value. Simple one. So you have date here, amount here. Got it. Now just how I asked, this quarter, you're going to select this quarter. Or amount more than 300, you just select more than 300. Okay, you play with these two. Of course, you can filters. You can filter anything one. You can anything. You can put it down here. Filters. You know what is filter, right? Filter data. Okay. Let's say you can put date. You can put category. Okay. Category is filters. Okay. Then you just select audit. Then he will show only audit figures come up. Or you just show text, he will show text figure come up. Understand not? Sorry, this is simple illustrations. I know everyone is busy because today's topic is Power BI, but Power BI is a bit chim apa macam?
Chim.
Deep. bit deep lah, so I'm going to cover the kindergarten one, Power BI. So at least you have a rough idea what is database, thing like that. So at least when you talk, you tak sesat lah. Huh? You tak, huh? You go to Microsoft Excel, you go and see. Hey, come. Hey, come. Go. Data, this is data, okay, this data. Come. By batch, okay? Yeah. Sorry, this is a small firm, we don't have. Okay, so you see.
Okay, we open back to the slide just now. We go to page number 8, right? You can see there's a picture I show in the Power BI flow. So actually, So actually for Power BI, they are separated into two parts. We call it backend and front end. Okay, just like a normal system now, we have backend, those helping us to do the system data things, and the front end is like the surface. Okay, that you can see. All right. So basically, Power BI, it will consist of like this flow. At first, it always starts with like Power Query Editor. So this thing, okay, it might look a bit complicated, but actually the concept is simple. The main purpose for it is to load and transform data. So like Mr. Koh mentioned just now, we have different types of data. Like the data, sometimes it could be missing columns. The data type could be wrong. For example, if you have a date, right? But the data type is put integer, so it's wrong. The type should be date, right? So this process, this step is the first step. When you have a data, you import and you load into this thing, and you need to perform some of the, we call it data cleaning. Before you can use the data, you manipulate, you play with data, you must clean it first to make sure there's no missing columns, all the rows is tidy, all the data type is correct. So these are the first step. So this Power Query Editor, you can connect the data from many sources. You can directly connect to like SQL database. You can directly connect to your Excel file. You can directly connect like many types of, if you go and open the app, you can see there are many types. Some of it are very, even myself, I also have no any experience before. So it's very powerful. So first step is, you can look at page number 9. So this is how Power Query looks like. So inside it, at the left, you can see there are many queries. Each data set, we call it like queries. So there are many data sets. So the step you need to do here is to clean the data, right? Only that the data is clean, tidy, then only we can move to the next step. Okay, right? Any question?
If the data in the same column,
okay,
like let's say you have the product name,
okay,
maybe the spacing also consider because you start the word, let's say the first the first one only, but some people will just accidentally put a space only start the word.
Yeah, that's why actually it
consider not correct, they cannot capture.
No, all it depends on how you tell the system one, or it can be changed one.
I think very simple. When we study the IT MIS, I always remember our lecturer says that garbage in, garbage out. Okay, understand or not? Okay, the setting must be a common understanding, huh? Like she says that maybe the product, maybe you should set up the column, the data field like cha dash blah 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 some people will type it fast, thing like that, forget about the dash and thing like that. Then the database, the system cannot read.
Not consistent.
So maybe as a data infrastructure, when you set up the data, you should specify the formats.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
if you forget that, and then perhaps just now I mentioned the if, what if, the data sorting, thing like that. You just clean up as you mentioned, clean up the database first.
Yeah. That's why if the data when it comes in is messy, many like not consistent. That's why the person when doing this thing, it needs to take some time to like clean. There's some formula like you can do just to make it clean, but it takes some time lah. Okay. So after the data has been cleaned, tidy, all your data sets, I'm not sure how many, maybe 10 data sets all settled, then we will import these data sets into the model view. Okay, so you can move to the next page. You can see something like a mini table Right, many table. Okay, so basically what does this stage mean? So all this one table is referred to each data set. So now what you want to do is, because the key concept inside Power BI is something we call relational database. Like what I mentioned just now, you now have many data sets, many data, but some of the data, how you want to connect those data together is to find the common information. So you want to connect all the data together is you might have a common data. So if you look at the picture, you zoom in, you can see actually there's the line, the arrow that connect to this one connect to that one. Okay, actually inside it might look a bit complicated, but actually the concept is easy. Just that you find the common data between different tables and you relate them so that each table can relate to another one, and all of them at the end will be integrated. That's what we call data integration, which means you can connect all your department's data together. Okay.
I think it's not very technical. It's very simple one. Okay. We have HR department. We have account departments. Okay. What is unique? IMAN is unique. IMAN IC is unique. Right. So in HR database, you got IMAN name, but IMAN still got IMAN short, IMAN tall, IMAN fat, IMAN skinny. Okay. So what is a unit? IC. IC numbers in HR. But in the account department, you also got IMAN database because payroll. Payroll records. Same. IMAN, it can be IMAN short, IMAN fat, IMAN skinny, thing like that. What is a
Unique.
Unique IC. So database, just now I mentioned, it can be isolated, it can be one, or it can be cross departments, like HR and account departments. They can cross through, they call simple, I know a relationship. So using IMAN, using the staff IC number, this become linkage ready. They can talk each other's ready.
All the information.
Understand? No? This layman talk, accountant talk. I'm not IT trained, okay? But I know a bit of database. Okay?
Yeah. So these are the second step, in which means we relate all the data set together at this stage. All right. So after we have connect all the data set, which means all the data set are now become like one big family integrated. So we move on to the next one. Is a data view. So this thing, even though it looks quite similar to the first one, but the purpose here is different. Just now in Power Query, the purpose of us is to clean. We arrange, we specify the type, make sure it's clean. And here, we can perform, it's for us to perform some calculation, perform some like formula, because now you have already connect the different data. You have connect like HR data to maybe sales data by using a unique ID. So now maybe you can perform some of the detailed calculation. For example, if you want to know, now you connect HR and the sales data, right? So maybe you can know, HR data have shown how many days IMAN have joined. And then the sales data have shown how many sales IMAN have been generated.
And please don't use IMAN. IMAN is my private property.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so at here, since you have already connected different data, so you can perform some of the calculation so that it gives you more. Because the initial column, initial data you have here is only for each department. Sales have sales data, HR data. So for here, you can cross. So you perform some calculation using some of the formula, like what Mr. Koh mentioned, like if, else, all those quite formula to perform the data calculation. This one can be simple, it can be advanced. It can be performed for many, it could be very simple, like a sum, count, how many, like that. Alright, so after you have performed all the data calculation, then we move on to like the most important one, to visualize it. So at the end, you want to visualize the report for the users, right? That's why, based on what you have do here, then you can visualize it. So Power BI, you can look at the page number 12, that's how the report will show. So actually you can look at below that there's many sheets, not just one sheet only. There are many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you can have many. So eventually the report is something like this. Okay, you might say that the report looks quite same with like Excel. What makes it different? It's because all the things here, when you update the data, it will update automatically. it would like really show the change in the amount. And then inside the report, right? Actually, there are many functions that you can play one. Okay, later I show you. Okay, so now we move to like page 13. So at the end, after you have done all these things, you have many of the report. Then we can do a thing that we call a dashboard. All right. So I think dashboard is what eventually the final outcome of Power BI lah. We call it dashboard, which means it's a collection of report. You combine all the report in one big like screen. It will show all the things in real time. So you just your eyes to see, oh, how many sales we made today, or HR, or how many like that, together all in one big dashboard, right? Because all have been connected together. All right. So okay, now you move to like page 14 and 15. Actually, you can see this is what I said the function of like Power BI. If you look at page 14, you can see that this is a product details report. Okay, so it shows that like what are the product I've been selected. So for this product, how many orders we have get, how many sales profit we generated for this month. So actually you can notice that the area that I put a red rectangle, right? You can see that when this thing can be adjusted. When I adjust, or example, I want to adjust the price by how many %, in the next slide you can show that the graph will have update simultaneously. Which means this thing allows you to do many. You can have many ways to play for it lah. You need to explore it, right? And then you can move on to the last two pages, 16 and 17. It's the same thing. In Power BI, there's something called drill through function, which means I can put like for not only the data for this year, for many years, and then I just drag from 2021 to 2022, all the data will reflect to another year one. So actually, it just depends on how you design your dashboard, how you want it to represent, and how you want it to be shown. Yeah, so I think that's all for like the brief introduction to Power BI lah.
All these things you still club cupboard, right? Only theory, right?
You should try.
So why not this database? Can you Power BI? You need to install Power BI.
Yeah, right? Power BI.
You need to install Power BI.
Yeah.
How to install Power BI?
You can just go to their Microsoft Power BI website. There's a download website. You can just click download. Actually, there are many versions. Even phone version also have. But normally we use desktop version. Power BI desktop. You just search and you can download
So
it.
you go to Power BI, right? You download and then you install it into Excel. Okay. So into Excel, then you play around.
Yeah, you can try it.
I think it's very simple. You just start with my database.
Yeah.
The 12 months one. Then at least you can understand the basic behind Power BI. Understand? Huh?
Yeah.
Of course, this is a preliminary. Okay. Hopefully, we will have another one.
Hands-on.
Hands-on. You want hands-on or not? Huh? You want hands-on or not? Aiman? Aiman say dah cukup lah ini. Okay, maybe one day we should have a hands-on a bit.
Hands-on, yeah, but different breakdown. Need to digest. Because the Power query a lot of things.
Yeah.
Power query very
Many techniques.
up to.
Yeah.
No, you can start off with pivot table first. At least you know what is database lah. Understand that? Pivot table you need to download anything one. Okay. For account department, you must know how to extract your data from AutoCount, things like that. Of course, you need to tidy up, clean up your database first. Okay. Maybe you can ask AutoCount person. Because we have a lot of reports, right? Normally you spend about 2 to 3 days, right? It can be like gemuk. Okay. What is the gemuk say?
Thanos.
Thanos. Gemuk. I call him gemuk. Okay. Okay. Understand? I think at least you give you a rough idea. Okay. Thank you very much.